Hello guys, how are you? Today we are going to discuss a bit about your internship report drafting. What's the use of it? Of course, you all know that you are required to submit this type of report in a college or to your respective faculty members to gain some credits out over there. You most probably all of you having such sort of thing actually. So rather than wasting our time here and there, we should directly focus on the point. As you are seeing on the screen, these are certain instructions which has been lying over there when you draft your report. And one more thing I would like to tell you that if you are working out on your report, so it doesn't start when your training ends. Okay, it starts when you start your training actually. So, and of course, there is a part of it which you will start working after completing your training program in order to get the certification. But there are a lot of things which you actually uh, s- start working on it right from the day one. So, our report will be consisting of that thing also. Okay, so let me show you a certain part of the report. Like these are the certain things, sections which has been lying, which must be there into your report actually. These sections needs to be there. Okay, why? Because when we talk about the project report submission, it doesn't means that whatever coming into our mind, we really submit that particular thing. I think there needs to be some sort of uniformity. There needs to be some sort of procedures which we need to follow when we draft a report. Okay, and when we talk about internship, that is not like that you are doing an internship anywhere here and there. Actually, we need to be very categorical on that. When you are talking about the internship, this internship means your internship, whatever you are doing, that is complying with the AICT mandatory internship policy. And what that quality policy actually tells us, it actually tells us that you need to have a training from your mentor, either online or offline. That is a different perspective, but they allow. Okay. Then after that, uh, did you work on any sort of project? Yes, of course you did the project, and that was the part of a project. Of course, you will be doing that thing only there, publishing all of the thing which you did in your project into a report Excel. And had you submitted any sort of assignments or class test, your punctuality into your training? It's not like that we are taking your attendance or anybody is taking your attendance actually. But of course, there are certain rules which we had to follow because you are submitting it for your academic credits, isn't it? So what I'm going to show over here, like I will be showing you a part of a draft of a training report in which you can take a help when drafting a project report. Right? Okay. So first of all, just look. These are the certain sections which is lying over there. Here it's showing in front of you on screen. So you can see that there. You just look at the point 16 and point 17. What exactly it is? Daily activity report that is lying as an lecture one, and lecture two you will be finding weekly activity report. So weekly activity report and the daily activity, I'm just going to explain you that in a bit. Okay, so let us scroll down on that and let us show you like what exactly I'm going to tell you over here actually. So this is daily activity. So daily activity report is like that. Like first of all, if you are doing, let's take an example. Like if you are doing a training for 4 weeks or 6 weeks, suppose. Okay, so you need to have at least six printout of this page, this one, which is lying over there. I'm talking taking of the case which has been lying. If suppose if we are doing a 6 weeks training for 8 weeks, people they can have the printout of similar thing actually. So you can have a printout of this particular page which has been lying over there. Okay, you of course you can increase the size of the cells inside the table. Okay, I'm talking about the annexure 2 which has been currently lying in front of you. So what exactly it is? So what you are required to mention inside it. So in the week one, what exactly you did in the week one? What exactly you did in the week two? what exactly you did in the week 3, and so on. So you need to mention what exactly you did in every week in front of the week number. Okay, like in week 1, I learned this particular thing and I make this. So I did this sort of activities. I this of course, if I worked on any project, I started working on it. So it's like a diary. So you just need to write a synopsis in 4 to 5 lines. Like I did, like in the overall week, I learned such sort of thing, and this is how I did actually. If a little synopsis, like 3 to 4 lines, which you did into the week actually. Okay, then coming on to the another part, that is what exactly is the annexure one, like the daily activity report. So for every week, like here you can see week number. So you just need to mention right one for week 1. So what you did, like I did this thing, like brief introduction description of daily activity, like what you did into a session, what you learned actually. Okay, so you need to mention in such a manner that this is what I did, this is what my trainer told, and this is what I learned. Okay, so if you are putting each and everything in perspective, like on day 1, I learned this thing, on day 2, I learned this thing, day 3, day 4, day 5. Okay, of course, here it has been showing in the tabular form. So you can always see that in you there will be a very lesser writing out over there. But if you want, then you can take a 5 prints of this particular page for every week. Suppose if your training has been going on for 5 days in a week, so you need to take a 5 prints and make every page, or make every page for every day. Okay, if you want, you can put it in a half and at least writing like what you learned, like a synopsis, what you learned actually. Not only it will help you to remind and at the end of the day, like what exactly you achieved, what was the outcome, but it will also help your teachers at your college or the HOD, whoever will be reviewing your report when you go back to your college, like what exactly you did and what are the learning pattern which you are following actually. Okay, so it will be very helpful, and so you need to follow this thing in when you are making a report. So make sure to keep a print of this thing, or if you're not taking a print, at least write somewhere and make a file in such a manner, because at the end of the day you are required to put it into a report excel, final report excel. Okay, it has nothing to do with the what project you did at the end of the program. It is the thing which you are doing during your training phase. Okay, so that is one thing. So what now I hope it must be very clear to you that for every day you are learning, you need to write it somewhere that I learned this thing on day 1, and this is what I learned on day 1, and that who was my trainer at that time, whatever it is actually. Okay, and what how you explain it entirely depends upon your creativity. Okay, so that was on a daily basis. Then after that, there need to be some weekly closure that yes, last 5 days I did, and now in those 5 days I learned this thing in that particular week. So say that was the case for a daily basis, for a day-wise case, and that was the case when you are talking in a weekly format actually. So if you are doing it for 6 weeks, you need to have 6 reviews like that. If you are doing it for 4 weeks, you need to have 4 reviews, or if you are going for 8 weeks, then it should like that only. Okay, so I hope that thing is very clear, and this thing starts from day 1 of your training. Okay, so make sure to prepare your report in such a manner. Okay, so that was the thing which I expect, or in fact, your college faculty members expect that it should be there, of course. If you're putting this thing into your report, it will be very helpful. And no, I am very, the chances of getting a project report dejected will be very less. Okay, now coming on to the front page again, now how it should look like. So, so of course, we discussed about the point number 69, 70, like what exactly it was. Okay, now let me tell you, like what exactly is the cover page of the report. Okay, cover page is like that of course you need to, of course, if you're preparing any report, so of course that was a thing, that thing which I discussed few minutes back. That was the daily activity or the weekly activity which you did into your training phase. Now coming on to the part and it has nothing to do with what exactly you made as a part of project. Okay, that was the thing which you learned during a training phase, and what you learned during your training phase, and you simply jot it down onto your report. Yes, on day one I learned this thing, on overall in a week I learned this thing actually. So it has nothing to do with what exactly you did as a part of a project. Now coming on to the project part. Okay, so project part is a different thing. Why project part is a different thing? Because making a project is entirely a different thing, but showing your project in such a manner when you are there, when there is some sort of foundation on you that you need to produce it in a paper form, so it's a very difficult thing. So you need to make sure a certain set of rules, like how to draft a record, because maybe you have made a very great project, maybe you did a tremendous work, but at the end of the day, you are not going to submit a software, only software actually. Of course, they will be asking that thing. They will ask something on paper. So how to put that thing into paper, in a paper form? Let us discuss about this particular thing. Okay, so this should be a cover page, and the internship report on, like, what is the title of the internship? So it should be the project name. Okay, what's the project name? Like, suppose if you are making any hotel management system, so make sure internship report on hotel management system. If you are making a report on data, and if you did any analysis on data analytics, so mention the name of your project over there. Okay, so the title of internship lies like that itself. That should be your front page. Okay, of course, the logo and all, of course, you need to see. Then submitted by. Submitted by means your name, your college name, or your university roll number, whatever it is required. And of course, this part. What is this? It's like your trainer name. Okay, suppose if your trainer name, if you are learning any subject whose trainer is Miss Malika Srivastav, then you need to mention her name over there, her designation. Of course, all of the details you will be getting on a mail itself, which you find. But of course, these are the small things which you need to follow, and submitted to whom you are submitting. Remember, this report you are submitting to us in order to get the certification. But whenever you are going to submit this report to your college, okay, please add your HOD name or your college authority name over there also. Okay, so this means there will be three or four signatories, there are three or four personals whose name will be mentioned, like submitted to, and under submitted section, like the trainer name, your training manager name, and your college faculty member's name. Okay, so make sure this particular thing. Okay, so one of the things which I said, this should, your cover page of the report should have these things are there. Anything else, you can definitely take the help from your college authorities. But I think this is the minimum structure which you should follow actually. And of course, there, when I'm talking about the minimum means that you can add something over there. But of course, that will be minimally required actually. Okay, so that was when you are how to make your cover page, how your cover page look like, your first page. Okay, now coming on to the second point, like your declaration. So declaration is you need to mention, of course, whatever declaration is nothing like a sort of certification that you did a training mandatory internship, which under the company, under the guidance, your trainer name. Okay, and yeah, whatever thing. I think this is a declaration which is issuing self declaration. You need to mention your details, like suppose your name mentioned, your from which branch you were. I think you better see that you need to just simply copy and paste this particular thing. Yes, a format a bit may differ, but overall content may look same, like, I hope so. Okay, so these are the things which you need to follow when you, this is also required when you are submitting. Okay, so when you are submitting your this particular report, so this is definitely required. So make sure you just use simply copy and paste. That is okay. I'm talking about this particular page only. Okay, but customize, personalize it as per your details actually. Okay, it will be helpful actually. Okay, so this is really required. Now comes the part table of content. Of course, if there will be lot of things which will be there into your report. So you need to put it in a tabular form. Like you need to mention the headings, the serial number, and the page number. Okay, so of course, it's if a report is nothing, it's not just a set of piece of papers actually. It's actually a book written by you. If I presume, it's your creativity. But of course, the person who is reading your book, he might not be having that much time to go through each and every page. So make sure to have a table of content, like what exactly it is. It's like that only I'm talking. Something like that. Okay, it's like an index actually. So you need to have that thing. Then secondly comes the part like the table of content which I just said to you. Then comes a list of figures. Of course, you are going to use a lot of figures, lot of tables specifying your facts and lot of other data. Okay, so make a table of all those figures, images, like I'm talking about the caption of this images actually. I'm talking about the caption of those tables also. It's the same thing for tables as well. Okay, so make a list of figures or images which you are going to use into your project report. Write the caption over there. Put it in the serial number. It should reflect as a figure number. It's just beneath the name that particular image. Okay, and on which page this particular image will be lying. Or it can be the screenshot also. It can be the data flow diagram also. It can be anything. Okay, or whatever, anything which is coming in the image form. Okay, or in the graphical form. You need to mention the caption of that along with the serial number and the page number on which that thing is lying. So make sure to use this particular thing. Okay, then same is the case of table as well. Like if you are using any set of data, if you want to show something as a part of table. Okay, so make sure to just write the caption of the table, the caption which has been lying just beneath that particular table. Okay, just put it right over there itself. Okay, along with on which page it has been lying, along with the serial number. Of course, every table you have seen lot of books having lot of tables and images. There's something like figure 1.1, figure 1.2, figure 1.3. Same the case for table 1.1, table 1.2, table 2.2, depending upon whatever it is. So I'm talking about this thing only actually. Okay, so make sure to use make a table to make a this is basically what this is the content table of that all of the tables which you are going to use, or the content table of all of the figures which you are going to use into your project report. Okay, so this should come in that format only. Okay, now coming back, like what should be the next thing which you can use. Okay, like there will be lot of things which you are going to, lot of notations and lot of abbreviations which you will be using inside your report. Okay, so make sure to mention those notations over there. If suppose if it is as or if at all you are using, it is definitely as per your requirement. Okay, my purpose was showing that because I actually want you to have whatever thing which you can cover in a certain process form. So this is something. Okay, suppose if you are using any abbreviation, so you can use note in the notations part and describe out over there, whatever it is required. I think if for what exact to understand what exactly I mean to say over here, I think that will be pretty much better if you open any standard book of any good publication, and you will be finding beneath every page you will find one or two notations like this means this, this means this means this, just in the bottom end. Okay, sometimes on the back side of the book as well. Okay, so notations means this thing. If you are using any notations, any nomenclature inside your report, you can definitely mention this thing over there. It will be very helpful to those who are going to read that particular report. Okay, then what exactly comes the part of the executive summary? What is exactly the executive summary? Okay, so executive summary is like that, like when what exactly you did inside your training, what you learned in whole of your internship phase, what are the problems you faced, how you tackled out from that particular situation, and what are the things which you achieved during this internship period actually. Okay, and it will be very easy for you to write this one piece of paper. I think one page is more than enough. Like about like because that one page will be the juice of what exactly you are going to write inside your whole report. Okay, and you need not to look here and there. Okay, I think you must be remembering few minutes back I was discussing this particular thing, the daily activity report and the weekly progress report. So if you are writing your daily activity report, if you are writing the weekly progress report on a frequent basis, like as it required, so certainly you will not be finding any issue in writing an executive summary because you will be having a lot of data in hand, so that you can mention. It's like a synopsis what you did inside your training program actually, internship program, and more importantly what exactly you achieved overall. Because when you are writing this particular report, when you are making this drafting this particular report, it emphatically means you have learned something. And how you learned something, you just need to write an overall story. Okay, the the more the more concise it will be, the more better it will be for the one who is going to read your report. And in most of the cases, the people will read your executive summary, like what exactly you are trying to say through that actually. Okay, then comes the overview of the organization. So I think from like you did your training with us, so you need to write something like what you learned over here. There will be a lot of people who did the training in an offline mode. There will be a lot of people who did the training in the online mode. Okay, but I think it is very easy to determine how exactly you dealt with the overall people who come into your training actually. Was your trainer responsive? How they assisted you? Like there will be a lot of things which you will be finding certainly on our website, like introduction of the organization, like what are our vision and all. Okay, so this is something which you could definitely check out from our website. And those who are doing it on the offline mode, they will be having a very great idea like how would exactly things work. Okay, who are we and how we deal actually. Something interpersonal actually, of course. If you are like learning something from a mentor, so of course there is something which is known as vision. So you can put that thing. Okay, lot of things you can find it on our website on the about page for your reference. You can take that things from here. Okay, so this is the overview of the organization. Of course, you need to dedicate at least a page or two for this thing only, including the trademark, like the logo which has been showing in front of you. Like what exactly? Like to be very frank, if anybody asks you why they selected orange color into the logo, so I think this is something which will be there on the website itself. But you should know like why. Okay, so this is something small thing. Like lot of questions will be there, but at least you should understand the basics actually. Like about you should understand where exactly you did. You should know where exactly you did your training. So you should at least you know something about them actually. Okay, then comes the project summary. What is project summary? Project summary is nothing. And yes, one more thing. Project summary is different from the executive summary, which I was discussing over there. In executive summary, you were actually mentioning what exactly you achieved from your training or internship overall. It includes learning new skills. It includes the problem you faced. It includes the project you made. And it includes most of the like spotlight events which happened during your training entire internship phase actually. But this project summary is something which is very different. Why it is different? This will only focus, this part should only focus on the project which you are going to make during your training as a part of your internship actually. Okay, so if suppose if you jot it down that you are going to make this particular project, so what are the things, why this, why are you making this particular project? I think you should mention this thing, like how you are going to create this particular project. I think you better write a synopsis, like in your language, it's the algos part. You should like the algo. Okay, and data flow diagram of like how you are going to implement that particular project, then the algo part. Then it should, this part should also contain the software which you use and the other things and all. Okay, so these are just specifying these five or six things entirely in this thing is practically impossible. We will be having a separate video on that actually. Okay, like how to draft the technical section of that particular report. Okay, I will be keeping a separate video as for this. Okay, but I think when it comes to the part how to put it that part into this particular report, so your project summary should come like this, along with all of these things which is which I'll be showing in front of you actually. Okay, so you are just need to write a page or so about your about your project. But at the end of the day, the technical section of the report will be there, which we are going to discuss in the another video, which I am going to make specifically for that. Okay, so that was one thing. Just you can see the data flow diagram, which you were the process flow. Okay, you should mention this thing as a part in your report. And this is the code which you are you along with the supported screenshots. Okay, make sure not to use the mobile photographs. It's definitely not recommended when you are submitting any report. Okay, so then comes up at the input and output data. Like if you're taking any data set as an input, like what output is coming, and along with the supported screenshots of the output. Okay, like input and output screenshot. So this is one thing which you can surely put into a report. Okay, and the images and video links. Suppose if you had made some sort of video and of the project. Okay, upload it on your YouTube or GitHub, wherever you want. And just take a link of that particular URL of that particular video of the project which you had uploaded out over there and mention it over there. If you want, you can definitely change it into QR and put it out over there. So it looks good. It looks easy for anybody to understand like what exactly you're trying to say actually. So that should be the part of the report actually. Okay, then reference, of course. There will be a lot of resources which you are going to use during your report drafting. So references, please mention this thing. It should be any book, it should be any Wikipedia page, it should be any resource on GitHub, it should be any resource. It should, from your trainer itself, from your trainer notes itself, anything like that. You please mention it. The more the references, it will ensure that you have referred a lot of things in order to prepare to come to that particular conclusion. Okay, so this should be that the part of the report, the major thing which I said. Then comes the part like the self-evaluation of this particular of this internship. So you just need to mark the you are seeing the table, so you just need to mark your status, like how exactly you found your performance in this overall internship program. Okay, of course, a lot of people will be marking as 5 Excel, but I think that will be really better if you show the real picture because nobody knows better about yourself better than you. Okay, so it's a self-declaration. So you please self-evaluate like how exactly you learned and please mark accordingly. Some universities they need this thing, and some they don't. Okay, but if they then please mention this thing. And of course, it comes to this part which you were writing right from the beginning. Actually, this should come as an extra to the overall report. So overall, this is the Your report should look like this actually. Okay, so these are whatever thing which I discussed in front of you. This is the basic ingredients of any report which you are going to submit to your college. Okay, now of course I will be having a separate video on the content, like how uh to use a technical part, like okay, like so how to put those technical things in such a manner that it should look like a report. So because these all those things will be the part of a report here itself, which I was saying over here, like the data flow diagram, the code, and screenshots and all. So this is the thing we will be having a separate video and on that. Okay, so I hope this thing will be very helpful. If you are watching this video, if you are having any queries, you please jot it down into, just ask your queries into the comments. Okay, and we will definitely try to answer this thing particular over there. It will be really helpful for it, and you can share this thing with your friends as well because they might be feeling some sort of issues in creating a report. Okay, so here they will certainly get a help from here. Okay, so I am just expecting that you will be making a report in such a manner which will be acceptable by your college faculty members with the least number of alterations. Be ready for least number of be ready for alterations. But why we are exercising this particular video, the only reason is we need to ensure the minimum alterations. Likely possible, you will be doing 8 to 10 alterations as per your college requirement, but but in most likely, the person who has not seen such sort of thing, the video like, or have not gone through such sort of information, might be doing a double or triple number of alterations actually. Okay, so it's like that only. Okay, so all the best and thanks a lot.